Hey guys, I'm RicoR. This is my official lyric breakdown for my song Optimist Avenue. I'm out here right now in the beautiful nature, and I'm just kind of filming these for you guys. You guys can check out all these songs on Spotify, Bandcamp, YouTube, and there's also song breakdown videos for my songs in the same playlist, so check those out. I might make a separate playlist for the lyric breakdowns, but yeah, this is just kind of me going through my lyrics, and I have the song link below for you guys to check out. Let there be peace in the fall and all time. Let there be peace in the fall and all time. I hear prisoners knocking, people talking, all the slaughtering of these people here. So the first line, I'm going to go line by line. The song is inspired by John Trudell. He's a major influence on me, especially in the early days in terms of my work and kind of how it relates to my identity as a Native person. And I'm thinking about genocide in that first line. I'm thinking about the Holocaust, anything that you could associate with, essentially the marginalization and persecution of multiple people and what that feels like. And I'm thinking about people that are constantly locked up for crimes they didn't commit, whether it be people that are immigrants or children being locked up in cages. Whatever, take your pick. But that's kind of the first part of that. I see blues and gloomy views sewing up all over the place. Let us help the human race. This is the line that I always think about John Trudell the most with. I don't know why, but he has a very specific speaking style with his spoken word, because he does spoken word over top of music. That's kind of his idea. So that's why the song is directly inspired by him. And, again, I see blues and gloomy views. There's so many negative, sad things happening all the time in whatever way you can think of, and it's happening all the time, and our job is to help the human race as much as we can and try to stand up against everything that's happening in whatever way we can. And that's not necessarily, that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to stand with a sign on the street. We can do it in many different ways, but that part of the song is essentially just saying that it's our job to stand up against the injustices of the world, and we need to prioritize that over anything else, because things like climate change and all those things are human-centered. They happen because of humans. So we need to really take a step back in this day and age and really look at ourselves and think about, what are we doing and how are we going to do it? How are we going to fix the world? And just be stronger and create a stronger base as a people, that we are able to combat everything that's happening. And what I mean by a stronger base is not being so divided, but really uniting ourselves, because that's one major way to fight it. But yeah, just looking at what humans are doing and trying to think about a way to constantly better ourselves as humans for the greater good of nature and the greater good of the environment. I know sometimes it seems like you have to look inside to see the good that is there, because it seems like the world's all blackness when it's really not. There is a light shining crystal clear. So this line is actually a little backstory. This line is directly inspired by Eminem's Mockingbird, which is a song that he wrote to his daughters. Eminem, in terms of his vulnerability, is sometimes someone I like to use as kind of an inspiration for certain segments of stuff when it feels relevant. There's a lot of intricacies there, but in that song, he's saying, I know sometimes things may not make sense to you right now. What did daddy always tell you? Straighten up, little soldier. Stiffen up that upper lip. What are you crying about? You got me. And he's talking to one of his daughters in that. Um, and so, I'm thinking about, like, as much as there's, it's kind of the flip side of this last part, because as much as there is negative things happening, I constantly see change, and I do constantly kind of see people trying to make things better. And every time I do, that makes me really happy, and that gives me hope. So essentially, I'm kind of echoing my own hope to the people in that verse. Um, you know, I think it's easy for us to fall under this kind of everything is screwed mentality. We can't do anything about it, but we can. Everything that's going wrong, we always have some choice that we can make toward trying to make it better, or toward making it better, rather. And that, I think, keeps us going. So we have to remember that there is always light. There is always a light happening. And taking that a step further, I have a music video for the song, which is out, which kind of combines different civil rights movements and kind of just the overall message of the song through a lot of different footage, and also pop culture footage, and just kind of I tried to create kind of a holistic visual illustration of it. And so you guys can check that out. And for this specific verse, I actually include the never ending story, and one of the scenes in the never ending story, which is kind of the rebirth of Fantasia, the rebirth of imagination. So I'm thinking about this too, in terms of how it connects to trying to change the world. I think if we keep our minds open, and receptive to different ideas, that is part of kind of having vivid imagination. And I think only with vivid imagination can we also make choices that actually serve the world, rather than the other way around. I think being closed-minded, being stubborn, all those things feed under the same kind of ideas that create colonialism and create colonial thoughts. So if we keep thinking openly and keep being receptive to things and just let our imagination go, then we'll be able to make a lot of change just that way too. So there's a light shining crystal clear in the film. There's a literal light in the Queen of Fantasia's hands that kind of opens up the new world, and kind of, it's like a little seed that's kind of the rebirth of the entire world, of fantasy. Fantasia is just fantasy, imagination, in that story. But yeah, I'm just thinking about, there's like literally a light, and that was inspired by that film, but also just thinking about, there's positive things happening all the time. You just have to know where to look. Hey guys, it's RicoR. Thank you guys so much for watching this genius analysis video. Please be sure to check out the Genius Lyrics site alongside it, link below this video, where there's written versions of a lot of the stuff I'm talking about in the video, as well as some stuff that's not in the video. And also please be sure to check out the original studio recordings. Thank you guys so much, and cheers.